about to say the camera definitely saw that.
All right, you good? All right, thank you guys for watching and listening to another episode of the Just Talks podcast. I am your host. My name is Jamal. I am here with Freddie. We have a returning person who is actually behind the camera now by his choice. I don't know why. Maybe he'll share with us. But Daniel is back, a.k.a. Danny, a.k.a. DG, a.k.a. Dirty Dan, whatever you want to call him.
The Green Ranger.
He is now back in action. Nothing has changed about him physically. He looks exactly the same, but for whatever reason, doesn't want
his hair got a little longer.
He wants to be behind the camera.
He needs games.
So, how are you, sir? How's it going? How's it feel to be back?
Trash.
But it's hot now, so it's
Don't matter.
how was the trip though? How was the difference between?
It was great. The difference between here and there, it was a lot of I don't know, something about over there just feels so calm, and like when you get here, it's like so like I don't know. It's a big sigh. That's what it is.
I think it's the movement. That's what.
Yeah, it's probably that. Like,
because like over here, everybody's always on like
mean mugging.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's always on I gotta get here.
People over there look happy.
Do this.
Yeah, people over there just are casual, bro.
They might not be happy, but they look happy. Even the
they live in the day. They don't live like they don't think about all that extra shit that you don't got to think about.
What part of Cali were you in?
I was still in LA. I was in LA County, which is still LA, but it's not the city part. I was in San Gabriel, I believe, which is like near Alhambra. Basically, it's like White Plains to New York City.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if you're from Westchester or live in the area, you'll know what that means. So, yeah. How are you doing, Freddie? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a couple weeks since the last time we recorded.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just glad to be back. Glad to get one of these sessions out the way. I'm excited for what we got to talk about. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to want to hear your thoughts and opinions on a certain album. So, we're just here. We're ready.
To talk about Jermaine.
He said Jermaine.
To talk about Jermaine. Jermaine Cole.
Yo, I'm going to save this question for later, but I'm going to write it down before I forget.
Yeah, write it down. So just go over the topics in the beginning so you guys know what we're going to be talking about. I normally don't do this. We normally just jump into it. But so you have an idea of what we're going to get into. We're going to talk about J. Cole. We already talked about Danny and his life of going to California. But we're going to talk about J. Cole. We're going to talk about Joe Budden and his podcast breaking up. And we're going to end off with a little bit of mental health conversation because month is mental health awareness month.
Come on.
Yo, I
that?
swear I haven't. I swear this is only my first Truly. Mental health.
He had like 7 Trulies.
Bro.
Actually, I started working out this week, and I have not been drinking like that. I only consumed alcohol twice this week. One time was for Danny's birthday. It was on Wednesday, May 19th. Shout out to Daniel.
Hey.
Wednesday, May 19th?
Yeah, that's what you said.
That's what I said.
I swear I heard Tuesday.
That's what I said. Right? I said Wednesday.
You said Wednesday.
Yeah, my birthday. I remember 75%. The last 25% I don't remember.
He remembers going to Hibachi. He remembers getting home, eating some, being forced to take shots.
It was his birthday. He had a
cupcake. Happy
and
birthday.
then he had a cupcake shoved in his face.
Yeah. I didn't have the whole cupcake.
Yo, you know what he did? He was getting the sake shot in his mouth.
No way. Wait. He knew it was his birthday. That's why he was doing it?
Yeah. He was like, yo, it's his birthday.
You ain't record that?
I did.
Nah, they did. They got it.
Oh, nah. How come I haven't seen that? Nah, I haven't been on
story.
IG this week, though. That's why. I was a little low on the social media the last few weeks.
It was nice, though, my birthday. I thank you, Jamal, because he set it up. I truly didn't want to do much or anything on my birthday. Then he kind of hit me with a ultimatum in a way. Not a really ultimatum, a proposition.
Yeah, just is like, we're going to take you out to because I didn't tell him who was going or whatever, because I didn't know who would go. I didn't know who
It was
to
also
invite.
Wednesday.
I mean, I hit you guys up, but
No, yeah.
during the week it's a little tougher than if it was during the weekend. So,
Excuse me.
then Sko put me. I hit him and Pollo up, and then they was like, "Word, we should do something." Then they put me in a group chat with the people that ended up showing up, and we went to Bocce, went back to Danny's crib, and basic shit. We watched the Lakers game. LeBron is a fucking beast.
Yeah, that shot was really crazy.
And
I
then-
wasn't even expecting that shot. I thought they were gonna go to overtime. To be honest.
I thought so too. If Steph Curry would have got that ball, but we watched the Lakers game. We just laughed and shit. We didn't do nothing crazy, but it was a good time. It's good when you're like around people that you fuck with and
No, yeah, it's
Keep
always
it-
a good
keep
time.
it chill.
Definitely.
so.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know what
birthday.
it was going to be, but I figured that it would work out.
It to me it was like last year, like my 25th birthday, but without the hibachi. Like the hibachi was the new thing. Cause remember last year.
Oh yeah, we did do the same
yeah,
thing last year. I forgot,
Exactly. So
but
I got
we added
I got a
we
cut.
added another element.
Yeah. But it was
The
different
hibachi was
people.
an element.
Different people. Same. Not everybody was different, but a little different.
Nah, the only other people that went, it was just that was there
Skull and you
last
were the
year.
only one there.
Yeah, just me and Skull.
So
yeah.
my 25th, 26th, it was my people was there, and I was happy to see y'all. I was not.
Word, that
happy.
was your first like thing shindig back since you came back from Cali, right? That was like your first.
Nah, he's been out a couple times. I think.
No.
right? That was your
Oh,
first
that
one.
wasn't?
Yeah, I
No,
didn't-
because I'm saying you were saying like you saw your people and everything. So I
No,
was
there's
saying-
just been events because I don't know if you saw, but Javi or Foreign did his event and they had dreamed all. Well, that wasn't planned. She wasn't invited, but her friend had a birthday there. But anyways, I thought you were there when they did brunch last week.
Oh
I
no,
thought you
yeah,
were
no,
there.
I didn't go because I looked at it and I was like, it looks like a good time, but I'm kind of like on a different mindset right now. So I was like, I'm good.
He came back from Cali, changed man, bro, changed man.
Nah, I'm not not all together, but
But before we change topics and get into like an actual topic, do you want to explain why you want to be off camera or
no,
no?
no.
Nah.
Y'all can make y'all own conspiracies and theories. It's just.
Isn't he the eye candy?
Yeah,
He said that earlier. That's
y'all
so
lose
weird.
y'all eye candy.
Nah, I'm still
I'll
here.
give y'all one reason. I think there's multiple
Give it to
reasons,
us.
but the one reason is after looking at y'all podcast and listening to it, our podcast, Jamal's podcast.
Y'all podcast.
I saw the video and I was like, you said something that was actually like kind of correct. It was like, yo, like this 2-person thing. It
My
was,
joke that actually you took
Yeah.
serious.
Yo,
Yeah.
he was like, nah, yo, hold up, we may actually,
Nah, yeah, I laughed at
we
it
may
and-
have to do this.
It's crazy because I laughed at it. I was like reading my book in Cali and stuff like that, and I'm like, I laughed and I'm like,
Hold
I looked
up.
at the video. I was like, wait a minute, actually,
It's funny because it
It's
was
my
literally it was really a joke. Like if you wanted to be on camera
Yeah,
still,
yeah.
like obviously you still
figured.
have a mic. So
yeah.
if it wasn't like if there was actually like a problem, it wouldn't be like that. But
And the future thing is the other thing would be like in the future just
getting
get
another mic.
camera.
I mean another camera. That's what I meant to say. I said
Yeah.
mic.
Get another
But yeah.
camera.
Anyways, let's get into the man of the hour, the man of the past week, man of the past couple weeks, Jermaine Cole.
It was really month.
Yeah, because he started a decent amount of time ago. But Jermaine. Have you seen Jermaine?
I saw him playing basketball the other day.
Only people that listen to Born Sinner is gonna get that. When he said, "Have you seen Jermaine? Where's
Yeah.
Jermaine? Jermaine?
Where's Jermaine?
Jermaine? Have you seen Jermaine?"
That was the
Oh, it was a
church.
It was a skit.
That was the church.
Yeah, it was a
skit.
church skit before Fruit. What was the song with Kendrick Lamar?
Forbidden
Fruit.
Forbidden fruit.
So yeah, if you don't know, Jermaine Cole or J. Cole, I don't know. I keep saying Jermaine. J. Cole.
Jermaine. Talking about Jermaine Cole.
J. Cole released his latest album, that Off Season, which he's been talking about for a while. And this is kind of like the most promotion. Like I was saying before, this is the most promotion that he's done for an album ever. Like he's never done this. He actually went and did a freestyle. Did you hear? I don't know if you heard the freestyle, but he went back and did a freestyle a couple days before. Well, he released an interlude. Then he released a documentary. Then he did a freestyle. and then the album dropped the very next day or the same day or something like that.
I didn't even know he dropped the documentary. I thought that was for a later time.
Nah, he dropped like a 12-minute documentary,
I
bro.
thought he was
The
like-
documentary got like a million views.
Yeah,
in-
it was
in
like
a
12
period
minutes.
of time.
It had mad short.
Bro,
short
I
period of
thought
time,
I
OD
thought
views.
he was gonna do the document. Excuse me. I thought he was gonna do the documentary when because isn't he promising a deluxe too? I thought he said that the documentary was coming out with the deluxe.
Well, this was more like a.
He said something about a
introduction
deluxe?
slash.
unless
there was
I'm
something about a
confusing
deluxe.
him.
I didn't see it.
Nah, he definitely mentioned something about a deluxe.
Probably has it somewhere hidden, you know.
I mean, he recorded mad music. So you didn't see the documentary.
No, I did not.
So good. Being that we're talking about it, let's break the album down. I don't really do album reviews. I haven't done an album review in a long time.
we spoke about
But
DJ
we
Khaled's
doing-
album.
We talked about it briefly,
Yeah,
but we're
talking
doing
because
about
it was
compared to
trash. It was
review.
mid.
we doing a breakdown because as a person that's been a J. Cole fan for a while, I put on Twitter, I was like, don't ask me about the album because I knew I was going to do this podcast, so that was part of the reason. But the other part of it was, I'm a big J. Cole fan, I'm never going to say anything bad unless it's absolutely positively trash. But I wouldn't say that to the public, so I don't want to say it amongst y'all. But so going back to this album, if you don't really know about like J. Cole's story, and this is important to talking about the album. So talking about J. Cole's story, he grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He was a smart kid, so he was able to come to New York and go to school on a scholarship. He went to St. John's, which if you don't know geographically where St. John's is or where it is on the map, St. John's is in Queens. Yeah. So that's where he went to school.
Thought it was in Lower Manhattan,
It's in
like
Queens.
by Wall Street.
No, it's
It's
in
Queens. That's NYU. It's NYU and Pace is over by.
Yeah.
It's That's NYU.
NYU is the lower, and then
Yeah,
Pace
because
has.
my job is right over there, so that's Pace.
okay.
I mean that's NYU. So yeah.
Childish went.
So he went to school. He went to school in Queens, and then when he got old enough, he moved off campus. And he was living in this apartment in Queens. And if you've heard him talk about if you ever listen to his older mixtapes, the Come Up, the Warm Up, or if you've listened to maybe like some freestyles and stuff like that, he's always talked about living in Muhammad's crib, which is where he recorded, I believe, the Come Up, the Warm Up. The Come Up and the Warm Up is where he recorded those
He
projects.
recorded.
No, maybe not the Come Up, but the Warm Up for sure. He definitely recorded in Muhammad's crib. And so
Friday Night Lights too.
did he? I'm not sure if Friday
He
Night Lights was
recorded-
recorded there.
Yeah, and then he got the deal with.
He had the deal already.
Yeah.
He had the
On
deal.
Friday Night
He
Lights,
already had the deal.
And,
So-
I know he recorded another one. I think it was
No, but I'm just talking about chronologically. I'm not jumping
Oh,
ahead. I'm not jumping ahead. So that's where he recorded those albums at. So if you go back and watch the documentary, which you should, and if you haven't watched it yet, he always talks about how it's a very small room. It basically could just fit a bed, and he had his little desk and everything set up so he could make music and record. And it was, you could see when he describes it, you're like, damn, like it was a person that was hungry, that wanted to make it out. You know what I mean? And that was the goal of those first projects. And then, of course, he made money and was able to go out and do whatever. And the purpose of the documentary was like, yo, like, I felt like I was losing the shit. And so what he did was he went back to Muhammad's crib. And that's what they show in the documentary. So he recorded...
2014. No, For Your Eyes.
I think he recorded For Your Eyes Only in KOD in Muhammad's crib.
Mm-hmm.
He went back. Like maybe not KOD, but he showed that he was, because he was living in New York, remember? So they showed him like riding his bike. He, like, you see him with the long hair and shit like that, and he's in and out of Muhammad's crib, going from Muhammad's crib, doing like some vocals and shit, and then he'll go to the actual studio to like fix it and shit like that he had to do. So it shows like what his mindset was to get back to being able to rap on the level that he is now, because he was doing a lot of storytelling in the past couple albums. If you listen to Forest Hills Drive, For Your Eyes Only, even KOD had a little bit of an element of like a storytelling. but he wanted to get back to that grit of what made him Cole. So that was the benefit of him doing that, doing this album, was so like, yo, I'm still me. You know what I mean? And I'm better than a lot of you niggas. And I think that it proves it. We can talk about the music and our favorite songs and stuff like that, but just listening to the content of it, it proves it, because he did get to that point. So, yeah. I just wanted to give that whole breakdown of what the album in the process of. I mean, I wasn't there, but from what he showed us,
I wasn't there.
what he showed us for making the project. So, yeah, for me, like I said, I'm not gonna say anything bad. It wasn't a bad album to start with, so I would never say anything bad. So, for me, I thought it was a great album. So, I want to get your take. If you have like a more specific take, then it was good.
Nah, I mean, the only specifics I could say was that his album came at a good time. His album came like, I know people, artists drop albums all the time and things like that, but in terms of like, having a type of album that you listen to continuously,
Yeah.
I haven't heard any new music that I would like bump to
That you could keep going back to.
Yeah,
This is something that
some things don't have that luster, that you could. All right, but I listened to it twice. I'm gonna listen to it a third time. But Cole, he did what he needed to do with it, because I've been listening to it. I've been on and off with it.
And it's crazy that you say that, because I don't mean to cut you off, but it's crazy that you say that, because this album, which is different than a lot of albums that's come out recently. 'Cause I'm trying to think of what else came out recently that I listened to. I mean, as far as like rap music goes, because I remember we listened to that song we used Black's song for whatchamacallit? Yeah. For one intro for one podcast. I've been listening to his project a lot since Bryson Tiller. But as far as like rap or hip hop music goes specifically, excuse me. As far as projects go that's released, nothing has held my like attention for me to want to go back and forth to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking back at some albums right now, like some
Trying to look to
that
see
came
if you
out.
can find it.
Yeah, but I don't
nothing has made me like, okay, I'm gonna play this over and over again. It's been a couple years since that's happened. Like the last time that they dropped, like Drake even dropping that Dark Lane Demos tape last year. I didn't go back to the whole thing. It was just songs off of it that I went to. So when he's talking about like a body of work, this is the only thing recently. Like Big Sean's project didn't do that for me. That was me personally.
I mean, Big Sean fell off, bro. that's different.
I haven't heard that album yet.
You didn't listen to Big Sean's album? It's actually good. I'm not saying that because it's bad. It's a good album. I just haven't gone back to it.
I haven't got around to it, so that's not really. It's not really though.
I think I gave it 2 laps, and
nobody told me it's bad. Nobody told me it's good.
It's good. It just doesn't have as much replay value as his older projects. So that's just me personally.
But that's exactly what it is. If an artist has lost their replay value, or if nowadays when people make music, they want it to be something that, all right, I want this person to listen to it. I want people to listen to it. They're about to take a shower. They're about to do a drive. They're about to work out.
Do whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep putting it on.
Boom.
Yeah, and that was a good thing about it. Like, and it's most people have been saying like that. It's getting more, and they like it the more that they play it. Like when the first day it came out, I saw Danny, and I hung out with Danny and Sko, and Sko was like the first time that he played it, he was like, "Yo," he thought like it wasn't that great. He was like, "It's whatever." Then he played it again in his car, and he was like, "Nah, this shit heat."
It's different when you play a song in your car for some reason.
He was like, "Nah, this is heat." But after the second listen, he still wasn't officially sold, but he said it was a lot better than the first time that he heard it. And I felt like that too. Like I heard it on my phone. I do different tests when it comes to music. This is all music. This is not just J. Cole. I do multiple tests. I listen to it on my phone first because I want to see my phone. If you don't get past the phone test, then that means like I'm not going to listen to it again. That's just how it goes. I'll be completely honest. So it goes to the phone test. And then headphones, because I'm probably going to listen to it while I'm working or doing something around the house, whether it's cleaning or whatever, taking a shower. and then the next one is a car test. So each one of those, for me, the album got better because I expect so much from people that, especially a bigger name artist like Cole or Sean, that the first time I listen, I'm just like, it doesn't reach my expectation the first time I listen to it ever. So no matter who it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the only time that I had like a situation like that was Drake's Views. When that shit started the first time, I was like, nah, this
Views. That was that 2016 era, bro. 2016 era.
this OD.
And then he had that 3 song. He had the Controller. It was right after Controller. It was another song, and then he had Views. Those 3 songs back to that shit was crazy. But
Feel No Ways.
No,
Western Road Flows was like
the 9.
Controller, Child's Play is probably what you're
9,
talking
yeah,
about.
9, Child's Play, yeah.
Feel away,
Nah, Western Road Flows was
Western
dumb hard, yeah.
It's something that like,
Bro, I
just
used to
never
play that in the
played.
highway. I just look outside like, yo. Nah, yeah. I mean, wait, hold up. Let's not start jumping.
All right,
from
man,
artist
that's
to
not
artist.
just so. Cole, the album. Let's get into the album itself.
Yeah.
What was something that stuck out to you? I did a lot of talking, so I want to hear from you guys. What was something that stuck out to you?
Of course, you're gonna talk. You're
Yeah, I'm gonna
excited
talk a
about
lot.
it. Like,
I did a lot though. I started at like 13 minutes and we're at 22. So what about the album stuck out to you? I mean, unless you want me to go, I can say.
Oh, I was surprised about the features.
Okay, good. That's what I was gonna say.
All right, but yeah, I was surprised about the features because when he released the preview for the track list or whatever,
It didn't show shit.
it showed nothing. So I remember, I think the first
first
night.
song,
No. I think that first night they didn't add the features or something.
Yeah, they didn't add it to
Bro, because
to later the next day.
exactly. Because that first night I'm listening to it, and then I hear, I think his second track he had 21 Savage.
Bro, from the first song, he had Cam talking on the
Oh
song.
no, all right. Nah, but that's like he wasn't like rapping. You know how they throw people in there.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I heard Cam. I got hype. Cam to do that. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Killer. Somebody said something. They were like that song sounded like an old Dipset song, so it makes sense that Cam was on it.
Oh, that makes sense. He went hard on that song though. That's why like he caught everybody's attention with that first track. And then I was gonna say, so back to features. I believe his first feature was 21 Savage in the second or third track. 21. When I heard 21, I'm like, yo, wait. So Cole got Cole got features on this?
I put that on Twitter. I was sitting there listening to it. I was sitting there and listening to it and playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I heard 21 Savage voice. I was like, oh shit, this nigga got features.
But
I was not expecting that. That was a good surprise.
And I know you didn't see a documentary. But I seen the documentary. You seen the documentary?
Yeah, 21 Savage was in the documentary.
Yeah, so I figured.
I thought they built a connection when they did that song.
The 21 Savage song.
Yeah, they built a connection after that.
A lot, yeah, it was a lot.
Because 21 Savage was going through a change and his music and his sound was becoming a little bit different when he started to connect with Cole. It wasn't because of Cole, but around that same time. That's how Cole got on that album. And yeah, so I just thought, because remember when he did the festival, 21 Savage was on the lineup. 21 Savage performed right before Cole. He was the last person to perform before Cole. So
21, he's definitely changed his career since he first started. When he first came out, he was just like a regular trap artist, and nowadays he's been adding different elements to his music. You can't just label him under trap anymore.
yeah. So that song, talking about that song before we go to the next one, because there's a couple other artists that I want to talk about being
Boss.
on there. Mad low key. Tell me that song doesn't sound. I like it, but tell me it doesn't sound similar to a lot. Like the flow of it is almost the same to me, honestly. And I listened to it and I was like, that's probably why I like it, because I like that song so much.
The song is called My Life, by the way, for the people that are talking about that 21 Savage song. But yeah, My Life, definitely. And I feel like it also has a similar meaning from a lot. They were talking about, in a lot, he was talking about a few things of his past, his presence, and I feel like that's what was going on in my life. He was definitely talking about his past and his present and different things about the future and stuff like that. So I feel like you see the similarities on what you're saying.
Yeah. And then after that, I think the next feature was I'm trying to think of which one came first.
Boss.
I know Boss was on there, which is
Nah,
a
yeah,
female
right after.
artist.
So actually, in my life, there was 2 features. It was 21 Savage and Moray.
And and he's an artist from North Carolina, I think too.
Oh, he is.
I think he's from North Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's the thing
Danny
about
being
Cole.
show off camera if you want to look that up real quick.
He's always showing love.
I think he's a artist from North Carolina. So there are people making a big deal about that because he's like, yo, J. Cole doesn't have a lot of features on his project. So for him to have 21 Savage on there, which is huge, and then Moray, I think, is it Moray or Murray?
Yeah, Moray.
And then he's on there, and which is crazy. And then the next feature that I was going to talk about, well, Boss, I wasn't going to talk about. We're fans of Boss, so we're hype about that. But the next feature that was surprising, which was great, was Lil Baby. Lil Baby being on there is OD tough because it's like, damn. But he's
that
like,
shows what Lil Baby
is from North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's tough. But like Lil Baby be on there is crazy because although a lot of people don't see him as being
He's from Fayetteville too.
Is he? Yeah, that's even more tough.
The
Being
Moray
that
dude, right? Moray, right?
being that that people don't really, some people don't really see Lil Baby as being like a rapper, and I think he does a little bit of it all. So, and he's actually that new wave. There are some people that have said, I'm not going to say it, but there are people out there that are saying that Drake can stop now. Not as saying that he's a better rapper than Drake, not saying anything like that, but he's controlling that new wave of artists that are out right now. Like they're considering him the best out of all those new artists that are out right now. Between him, Dirk, Gunna, like all those people, they're saying that he's the best and he's the best out of that sound. So they're saying like Drake, if you wanted to, you don't have to make music right now, and that's what people are saying. So for Cole to put Lil Baby on his project is almost like kind of showing it, you know what I mean? I mean, Drake has put Baby on a song, so
He's put him. They have like 3 or 4 songs together. So
yeah, so it's kind of proving.
Drake saw the vision, you know.
Yeah, well, Drake always sees the vision.
Yeah, he
no
does.
pun intended, because the
Steals
vision.
vision.
But I thought that was tough. That, but Baby,
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that Baby feature was dope. Lil Baby, not the Baby, but I feel like that was dope. And on top of that, I also wanted to add, like you said, it was rare that he even, it was rare that he had features, and then on top of that, it was rare that he had somebody like that, like, you know,
that's who he chooses. This is his fourth. He did Forest Hills Drive without features, For Your Eyes Only without features, KOD without features. So this is his going to be the 4th album of doing. Because I lost track of how many albums he's done. But this is like his 7th album, and then he's finally back to features, and these are the people that he chose to be on it.
I believe
When he's close to being retiring.
He said something in the documentary about features too. He was like,
I didn't know if that was. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'll say it because I don't know. I didn't know if that was talking about, because it was leading up to this. So I didn't know if that was him talking about the feature run that he went on, or if that was a feature run that he went on, or if that was him having features on the project. So that's why I was confused. I didn't know what that was talking about.
I took it as in he's gonna have features on
the
the project. Yeah.
So what he said on it, he was like, something, I can't remember the exact word for word, so this is me paraphrasing, but he was basically like, bro, what are you gonna do all this music and just keep saying I did the shit by myself, and you're never gonna have music with other people, like you're never gonna do that ever? And he was like, from when he had that thought process, he was just like, fuck it, don't say no to any features. So that's why when he said don't say no to any features, that's why I thought that it was to the feature run. But now that you say that actually,
no, but if you
that
think about it,
does make sense.
he did have a feature run though, because he at one
No,
point
he did. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, no, I'm talking about the feature run when he was jumping on everybody's songs.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah. There was a point where all these artists were coming out. Cole was featuring Cole. I was like, what? I feel like Cole is a smart man. He definitely know what he was doing. He knew that he had 4 albums straight without features. That's why he started getting back into the rhythm of, you know, working with other artists. He knows that, you know, doing it. He knows he could do it by himself. He already knows that. But now, like, getting back working with other people, that just shows them how versatile he could be, you know, because he sees his success by himself, and he also sees success while working with others. So, like, the fact that you could do both, there's not a lot of, like, artists out there that could really manipulate that type of, you know, audience and feedback. So,
what were from the time that you've listened to it? You said you only listened to it twice, but it's probably good. You listened to it more than that?
No, I listened to it once, but I listened to certain songs twice.
All right, so that's going to be my next question. What were the standout songs to y'all? If you have anything on your mind, even if you don't know the name of it, like what
Amory was definitely fire. 95 South, like I said. Yeah. Oh. I thought it was
no, the only reason I know how to read it is because that's my cousin's name.
Yeah. Oh. I thought when I saw that, I thought Amari started mine.
I sent it straight. Amari Stoudemire spells his name a little bit different.
But
yeah, it's what
it
yeah, it's still the same to me.
Nah, but yeah, the first three songs I could say off the top of, well, not the top of my head because I'm looking at my phone.
Oh, Black's on there.
It was 95 South, Amory, and 100 Mil. He went hard with Boss. All the Bass features, because Boss was also on Hunger on Hillside, but their chemistry, him and Boss,
it's tough.
That's too exquisite. That's like,
what did you? I got a question for you, Freddie. You weren't expecting this, but what did you think about the song "Let Go My Hand"? The one when he was talking about his son. And he was like,
that's the one after Pride is the Devil.
Yeah, the one he was talking about him
Black.
getting into the fight with Puff. But that's not the reason I'm asking, because of the talking about Puff. It was
about the son.
About his son. Yeah. Like, and he was talking about
that he wants to
make sure that he's his own man and being able, because he knows that one day he'll be tested and shit like that. So
I feel that I when I was hearing it, I understood what he was saying. Like, one of the bars was like, "Oh, my son was like,
let go of my hand."
Yeah, exactly, let go of my hand or hold my hand or something like that." And I was thinking about it because, bro, like, whenever I pick up this kid from school and whenever I drop him off and stuff like that,
this kid
I'm like
his son.
This kid, yeah, my son. Me and him have a nice relationship. So yeah, this kid, I'm dropping him off or whatever. Like, he sees all these other parents like now holding their son's hands or their kids' hands, because you know when you're walking to school, it's like a little, you know, like what, a good meter, 2 meters before you get to the building. So over there, like, the parents aren't holding their hands. They're like, you know, like, all right, you know, they're thinking about their day and everything. And I'm here, I'm holding his hand. I'm like, yo, look, so this is what we're gonna do at school. I always give him a 2 layer like thing. Yeah, I'm always like, all right, so what we're gonna do? I always ask them the same question. You're gonna participate. You're gonna ask questions. All right. He was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. And then when I get home, like, his teacher, they give him like a day-to-day, like, daily chart of how they do.
So like a syllabus.
Yeah, sort of. But
it's like a to-do list. I remember that in middle school. They give you like a to-do list that's put on the board, right? That's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's how they used to do it. They used to put it on the board, but now they like send it to the parents, so the parents know how like the kids are doing and stuff like that. Okay, yeah.
Technology, guys.
Yo, facts. So whenever I go home and me and him start doing his homework, I always look at his daily chart or whatever, and I'm always like, he's always in green. Like, always, that means he's, you know, behaving good. And it's like morning, evening, and then like right before, like, they drop them off. Yeah. So it's like green always. And then I remember the one time he had yellows. He had 2 yellows. And I was like, yo, what is it? Yo, you're at school, bro. Like, how are you getting a yellow? Like, yo, and I had that talk with him all the way in the beginning of the year, like October. Yo, ever since then, green for weeks. His grades, Green Ranger. His grades have been on point. They just had like the state test or whatever, and all his mock tests, he's been getting like hundreds and 93s. So it's just like I'm just really proud of him. But at the same time, I try to let him know, like, because there's always room for growth. And like on the ride to school, I always tell him in the morning. This is my thing I've been doing like the last 2 weeks. I've been telling him like, oh, what are you thinking about? You know, trying to catch him slipping. He's like, oh, nothing. I'm like, no, I don't like that answer. You got to be thinking about the next thing. If I'm driving you to school, think about what you're going to be doing at school. And when you're at school, think about, if you're in math or whatever subject you're in, you got to think about the next thing. You can't always just, you know, not be productive. So as a parent, as a father, I'm really trying to instill things in him that I didn't have instilled like in me early. like now as at my grown age, now I know, certain things that I didn't know when I was, his age. And I try to tell him, I'm like, yo, look, listen, I'm only telling you these things because I know they're important.
Yeah.
The more important they are, it's better that you learn it at an earlier age so that you could harness it, harness it and learn how to utilize it.
Yeah.
So that by the time you're my age, you're a pro at it. By the time you're in college, you're a pro at it. So it's just like little things like that. That's why I really fucked with. I know Cole definitely didn't like say how I said it. Yeah. But
he was talking about like fighting and shit. But it's still the same concept because it's like you're teaching him how to become his own person and how to be able to
manage that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I thought that was a touching thing. I was talking to somebody about that, and they were saying that was like one of their favorite songs on the album. They don't have kids or anything like that, but they were saying that it's
eye popping, right?
Yeah, it's eye popping, and it's something that you don't really think about. So now it's like it's gonna be in your head for the future.
No, yeah, for a fact. Like for those people that's true. For those people that don't have kids, like how did you interpret the song?
I interpreted more of like the literals what he actually said. Because I related to what Cole was saying about his life before talking about the fighting, because like, as a person that doesn't like get into physical altercations like that, I have in my mind that I have to put on a persona to make sure that people don't, we grew up in New York. So growing up in New York, or if you live in a hood, quote unquote hood, you develop this like look so people won't try you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And try
You're not
to
smiling at nobody when you go outside.
you only smiling and laughing around the people that you fuck with and that care about you and stuff like that. And they might joke around with you and catch you in moments, but they're not doing it to hurt you. They're joking around. But for situations like that, I've always had that in my mind, and that's how I am. And I'm like, yo, let this look that I have on my face be my first line of defense.
Facts.
And then after that, if I have to fight, then I have to fight. But but that's what he was saying in the song. Like it worked. And then there would be some times when I had to get into a fight because everybody's been in a fight in their life, or at least I think everybody has, especially if you're from where we're from. Got into a fight, maybe 1, 2. And, but, when you start raising kids, you're hoping that they don't have to get into that situation too. So, but if they do, you have to teach them that, yo, you want to be on your own, because he said, let go of my hand. You want to be on your own, but you have to know that one day you're going to have to be able to protect yourself. So that's how I took it, and I fucked with it.
No. Yeah, that's a good interpretation.
That's cool.
What?
That's cool.
That is cool. That is a great interpretation because that's what he was saying about it. I fuck with that. Also, like, I know. Well, I don't want to jump into other artists, so never mind.
I don't really have much else to say about Cole. So I just want to say, if you haven't listened to Cole, because we've been going on about Cole for a minute, I say you go and listen to the album. It's literally 39 or 40 minutes or something like that. So if you haven't listened to it yet, definitely go and listen to it. The thing that I do want to say or ask about music before we jump over to Joe Budden is do you think, because Drake recently, I think it was yesterday or today, he put on today when we're recording, because this is going up on Monday, he put on Instagram a snippet. Yo, you say you haven't been on Instagram, so you probably didn't even hear it.
Like the last few weeks I've been like, I post my
you didn't hear
story,
it either,
but
Drake put a minute and like 15 or a minute and 20 seconds of a clip of like a snippet of a song.
Mm-hmm.
And
from CLB,
he was like laying down.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm
not sure. He
car.
didn't say what it's from. He just posted it, and he had a title. I forgot what the title said. But my question about it is, you don't have to hear the song. Is, do you think that an artist dropping right now would take away from Cole's album just coming out? And this is actually a question for the fans, because I'm actually gonna put this clip on Instagram.
It's a fair trade, by the way.
Fair Trade was it, right? So, do you think that Drake or a Kendrick or one? Well, it's really just them three. But do you think somebody else dropping a project right now within like the next month or so would take away from Cole? Or do you think that it's been so long since we've gotten an actual project from them that we're okay with it? Like we're ready for it? Because that's how I felt. Somebody said that to me and I was like, nah, like I want them to drop the music. Like if they would have all dropped on the same day, I'd be dumb hype. But that was just me. So I don't know if that's everybody feels the same way. Like, should they drop one at a time, or should like somebody drop like immediately? Like, are we ready for Drake to drop right now, and will we still bump Cole? Like, do you think that it would take away?
I mean, it used to be like the second way you explained it, where everybody just drop like right there that day. Like, okay, this is the competition. We're gonna drop the same day of the competition.
I'm gonna drop the album same day as Kanye.
I was thinking that
Just
same
to show the boys man out like why.
Exactly. So it was just that, but like now everybody's like, everybody kind of is like, there's a respect. I'm guessing. I'm gonna
Except
say
for
for
Jay-Z and Nas.
Word. There's a
Wait, you don't get it? Nah. So Jay-Z and Nas they fuck with each other, but it's just funny because if I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I was listening to a Joe Budden podcast and they pointed it out and made me like aware to it that if you go back and listen to not listen, but just look at the release dates of the past couple projects that Nas has put out, Jay-Z and Beyonce has put something out the same day.
Yeah. Okay.
For the past couple releases.
That's even the last
Bro,
last album.
His last album was the release of what happened the last album? One album was they put like out a single or something, and then the release before that they weren't. It wasn't like a full blown project, but or like with Jay-Z, but it was the Lion King project. Remember Beyonce did it.
That,
And then before that, when they released the Kanye album that he did, they released the album with them two, the Beyonce and Jay-Z album, the Carters.
That's crazy. I did a peep game.
Yeah,
And
there's no like real animosity between them. I think they're cool. I just think that it's just that competition. All right.
Nah.
Say what you're gonna say. I'm gonna just go stop that dryer because that's just gonna bother me.
All right, no problem. The competition aspect, I feel like it's just been changing in the whole hip hop culture. Cause I remember that song "Control" when Kendrick came for everybody's throat. I really thought that was gonna be like the change in hip hop. Like people were gonna start going back to like. I'm not trying to say that they gotta be rude about it, you know. I'm a fucking kill your mom. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying like I thought just rap would have been more competitive, as in like bet Kendrick is dropping on this date, but I'm gonna drop my album on that day too. We could see who the hell is gonna have the more streams. Like Kanye and 50 back in the day with Graduation, they both dropped their albums that same day. Kanye won. But, you know, it was that competitive spirit. And I don't feel like rappers nowadays, they do that. I'm not saying that that's like, a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that would be a nice, you know, action for them to bring back. You know, keep going because I feel like I'm going to keep cutting you off.
Nah, you're good. I see what you're saying there. And I believe that the younger rappers do that. If you really think about it.
That they don't.
No, that they do. Yeah, they'll drop at the same time. Not as much anymore. I don't think it's a
competition though.
Exactly, not as much anymore. But back then, it was like the old heads are now actually not even back then. The old I want to say the old heads, but they're not old. It's like J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, and all that. They have such they have such a mutual respect for each other that they're like back in the day, Biggie, Tupac hated. They didn't hate each other, but they had like aggression towards each other.
Yeah.
Jay-Z and 50 were mad competitive. I mean, Jay-Z and 50. Kanye and 50 were mad competitive. So they're both like, I can make a better album. I can make a better. But they know what they were doing with each other. Yeah, they know we're just trying to sell.
Exactly.
When Drake and Born Sinner came out, Drake, what he did, he bought OD. Didn't he release that year too?
No.
J. Cole bought his own.
Yeah, J. Cole bought his own. Drake bought his own. They
Oh,
went
okay,
on like Best Buy on 14th
Yeah,
Street.
they
I
bought their
remember
own,
that.
right?
Yeah, but when Born Center came out, Kanye West dropped Yeezus.
Yeezus.
Mac Miller dropped Watching Movies. Wale was supposed to drop his album. What was that album back then? I think that was
intro about
Ambition. I think it was Ambition.
I think it was Ambition.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
it was
it was
ambition.
Ambition.
Yeah, ambition.
But he changed his date because they were all supposed to drop on the same day, and Wale was like, "Nah."
Nah, wait, Mac.
That was mad smart.
He pushed his back like I think it was like a week or two that he pushed his back.
He didn't even say Mac. He probably just said yay.
And Cole, he was like,
not
Cole.
even that. He just said yay, and he knew Cole was gonna do it because they're great ass friends.
Cole outsold Ye. I don't know if long term who sold more.
I think
long
Cole
term,
still sold yay.
but I know that
nah, Yeezus.
I think
Yeezus-
Mac sold more than Kanye too.
Yeah,
I think Mac
sold more.
Mac outsold.
He was
Kanye.
the second, or he was actually the first. He sold more than J. Cole, and then J. Cole sold more than Yeezy too. So they were like, a lot of people were very surprised about that. They were like, then that's what made a lot of people like, yo, I gotta go listen to Mac because if he's outselling Kanye and J. Cole,
But to Kanye's
Jermaine.
defense, because those are three of my favorite artists dropping music on the same day. To
that was an
Kanye's
error, man.
defense,
I'm not saying nothing bad about
people
nobody.
didn't like really like that album when it first came out. I
yeah,
think it aged
yeah,
better
it
than
aged
what
well.
it was when it first came out.
aged better than Fine Wine because you could throw that shit on right now, niggas. Is,
Now there's certain songs you still gotta skip.
like what?
Eh.
Off that
But-
album, I think
but-
there's only one song that's worth skipping.
But it's not talking about the competition. My question was more or less: do you think, as a consumer, do you think that it's too much for us at one time, or do you think that we would be fine
yeah,
with them
we
coming
technically didn't answer your question. Nah, I feel like we'll be fine because
out? Oh, well, not us. Do you think it would take away from the artist? Like, do you think that we
no,
are
yeah,
able
that's what
to
I'm saying.
consume it all at one time?
It's not gonna take away from Cole and his greatness. It's not gonna take away from anything. I believe this is the point I was gonna tie it all together to was that even though they let's say they would have dropped in the same day, they still would have gotten people would have heard Drake's and then people would have still heard J. Cole's album. At the end of the day, they would have done their own deciphering whether they liked which one more.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's not bad for us as consumers because especially the day that the day and age that we're living in now, people just want. So like if somebody's dropping, if two of your favorite artists are dropping, you're gonna do whatever you can to listen to both of them regardless. And I feel like that's not gonna mess up like consumer, like the audience, the fans, because that's what we want. That's what they're never gonna not want to hear something from their artist.
Yeah. Because the reason why I'm thinking about it like that, because somebody was telling me that they thought that they think that it would be a bad idea for them to do that because it would take away from Cole. And I was like, I don't think so because I just like to go back and think about a year like 2011, which for me, I think was one of the greatest years that we got musically. If you want to go and listen because all these albums dropped. We talked about this before, Danny.
Yeah.
In an episode when we were at school. All these albums dropped in 2011, and it didn't really take away from each other. We got Watch the Throne, Take Care, J. Cole's first album, Sideline Story. You got
Was that the fourth album?
that's his first.
No, the fourth album.
Didn't
Next,
do
in between Cole and
Oh, I don't know what this is.
during that year the
no,
weekend.
but that's what I'm saying. What is that? Why is that so high?
I don't know.
I'm not gonna talk about. I'm talking about music.
The
The
Carter,
weekend.
the Carter 4, Rolling
Rolling
Papers with Wiz
Papers.
Khalifa.
Weekend was releasing
The
mad
Red
shit.
album, which I liked a lot. Tyler Creator's Goblin,
Bro, even
Finally
even
Famous.
Lasers by Lupe
Lasers.
Fiasco.
That
Blues-
year, that was my favorite album.
What, Lasers?
Goblin.
Oh, Goblin was tough.
And Lasers was
Blue
too.
Slide
Bro.
Park, Ambition,
Long Live
Live Love, ASAP.
That was third.
Section 80. We got so much
2011 was
music that year.
2011 was
DJ
music.
Khaled, We the Best Forever.
Fame by
Chris
Chris
Brown,
Brown.
Fame.
They had Can't Buy Child. Nah, 2011
This was a
was
crazy year. What is this?
2011 was
that
crazy.
Schoolboy Q? I think I just went by. I just saw Schoolboy Q was on here.
It was probably the
Schoolboy Q
sacrilegious. Yeah.
setbacks. But yeah, we just got so much music, and that's just hip hop. That's not even including like
that's-
R&B.
and that's just
Because
2011,
Beyonce dropped the album that
The Weeknd
year.
was doing
The
his
Weeknd dropped his
mixtape.
album that
He
year.
dropped-
the
it was-
mixtape.
It was
time, yeah.
mixtapes, bro.
Adele dropped her big
just
song.
dropped the second one, not Thursday, the one after Thursday, but before the last one, before he made it into an album.
The House of Balloons was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was Thursday. Thursday was the following one.
and then the last
So,
one
yeah.
was what?
Montreal. Echoes of Silence.
But
Yeah.
but remember that, and I just named hip hop albums, and you guys named. But remember, like Beyonce, Adele released her song when she released "Rolling in the Deep" and stuff like that. Those are all other albums that we didn't talk
Rihanna,
about.
yeah,
we didn't talk
Rihanna
about
dropped
Rihanna.
Miguel, I think
Frank
released something.
Ocean dropped
Frank
that
Ocean.
project. Mary J.
Channel
Blige.
Orange.
Yeah, Channel Orange.
Yeah.
That was.
See, like I said, Beyonce.
Lloyd.
So many people. Well, actually, both of those projects that y'all said came out for
Yeah,
the weekend.
Yeah, it's that
House
he was
of Balloons
going, yeah,
and Thursday, they
yeah,
both
he was
came
doing
out.
his thing.
So I think that when you think about that,
Yo,
I
Finally
think that
Famous
it's
by Big Sean. That was.
that was a time.
Bro,
I just think
I meant he
that
fell off
when
so
you
much.
think about that, I think it's very well possible for a Mad Music to come out at one time and still for everybody to get their love. Because those are still projects that I think that people still go back to this day.
I
course.
think
A
it
lot
has
of
to
those.
come out throughout the year. Because there's only certain albums there that came out like with each other.
I get what you're saying.
Goblin
That
didn't
makes
come
sense.
out with Watch the Throne.
So what you're saying? So what I'm? So,
Right?
okay, so
Watch
maybe
the-
I'm
He's
maybe I'm
disagreeing with
thinking.
us.
No, I get what he's saying. So maybe it's the way that I'm saying it, and maybe the way that I'm thinking it. It's
Nah, he's
like-
fixing.
Nah,
no.
'cause-
I get what he's saying. So
Yeah,
what
'cause
he's
it-
saying is that as long as it's like if Cole
out.
drops now in May,
And
then Drake drops in like
October.
or not
during
even
his
October,
birthday.
but
Or,
like
not in the
all
summer.
even
No, yeah, I know what he's saying.
Like
He
end of
doesn't-
summer.
Not
end
every
of summer. Like
something like that. Something
beginning of
around
fall,
that
end of summer.
time.
Yeah, what
And
you're
then
saying is
Kendrick,
that not
and
all
then something
artists
like
should drop
that.
in the same day. That's what you're saying,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not, and not even that. It could be like J. Cole and Kendrick drop the same day.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. I think Drake is outblowing all of them because Drake is such a pop slash. He's not like only pop.
still
I'm saying
don't think
he's
that'll
a
make a
real rap
difference, to be
slash
honest.
pop slash. He has such a
Yeah, he's more
broad-
versatile. Yeah,
yeah.
he has more. Yeah,
You're because honestly, I think Drake is gonna drop sooner than you think because you're crazy if you think that Drake's not gonna drop some shit for the summer.
bro.
No, I'm not saying-
he literally
if
said it was gonna
anything,
happen in
I don't-
January too.
definitely.
I don't think it's gonna be.
Summer.
I don't think he's gonna be in like in June. Maybe the end of July. So
I think it'll be by the 4th of July. Even if it's not on the 4th of July, he'll probably
I think
release a
he'll drop a
single or
single,
something like
yeah.
that. But
Nah, I feel like Drake knows that he owes everybody an album. Everybody's been,
doesn't
especially
owe-
he doesn't owe a
he
shit.
doesn't owe nobody shit,
bro.
bro.
If you're gonna tell me somebody's gonna be like, yo, I'm dropping an album in January. Fucking January comes and I don't drop shit. You guys are gonna tell me I owe y'all an album. Fuck out of here.
No,
like, nah.
we're gonna tell you that because we
Bro.
feel entitled. We
Yeah, we're
should not feel
entitled.
entitled.
He don't
Bro,
owe
we
us
should
shit.
feel entitled. If somebody's telling you they're
bro.
gonna drop something, there, what the fuck are we gonna do? We gotta
No,
wait for
bro.
it.
Nobody
Yeah.
owes
No,
nobody
yeah.
anything, bro.
No, he
doesn't
owes
owe us
everybody
shit.
an album.
No,
Yes.
bro, he does not owe nobody.
You guys have your
anything.
opinions. I have my opinion. If
sound
somebody
like an
tells me
entitled-ass nigga.
Exactly,
certified
like-
certified lover boys drop in January, expect that on January, and we're in fucking what are we, May, about to be in June, and I still don't have shit.
Bro,
Come on, bro.
This man was stuck in Canada for a minute,
Bro, I don't give a fuck about his ACL. Let him stop.
And I'm
Nah.
not saying that's what he makes on his
Crippled ass
music.
nigga.
I believe that's what he makes his music now in
Nah,
Canada.
I don't.
But bro, he doesn't owe nobody nothing, bro.
Nah, bro. I feel like if you address it like
I
that,
do
you
not
definitely owe
just-
somebody.
Ready? I'm a normal ass fucking individual ass person.
Yeah.
Like I do not.
Nah,
nobody owes me nothing,
True.
and I don't owe nobody nothing
True.
until it comes to money. Because I let you borrow money.
Well,
No,
technically-
'cause I get what you're saying, but I think it's a little bit different when with the services that you provide. I think
Yeah,
that
but-
like with us doing a podcast, we're not a huge podcast, but there are people that listen to us, and we kind of do at this point of what us recording and not recording as consistent as people would probably like us to. We kind of owe that to them at this point because we haven't like established. When I say Drake doesn't owe anything, it's because this nigga has dropped a million great albums. He literally can stop making music right now. We don't really need another Drake album.
When did he drop Dark tapes last year?
Dark
right?
Lane. Yeah, it was last.
Dark
It was
Lane.
last summer.
Dark
it was last summer.
Yeah,
So I remember.
bro. He
Everybody was
deadass
hype.
just
Yo,
wants to
wait,
give
wait,
us.
wait, wait. Real quick. Whatever happened to Fabio Ford?
Fabio.
Fabio, he made.
Phoebe.
Fabio.
Nah, he said in one of his tracks he was like, "Oh, it's Phoebe."
I thought it was Fabio Foreign.
One of his ad libs, he kept going Phoebe.
Oh.
Whatever happened
so
to him,
he-
he's probably working on music too. I don't know.
Nah,
Bobby
bro.
came out of jail, everybody stopped. Roddy came out of jail,
I don't
everybody
know what
stopped.
happened. He probably did get out, but last time I heard Fabio's name, he got arrested.
Nah, I'm pretty sure he got out by now.
But he
And
probably
even if
got
he
out.
did, I mean, even if he didn't, like nowadays artists make music from jail. So
He got caught.
nah,
with
the
a
only
loaded
reason
gun.
why I said it like that is because, bro, he seemed to have last summer he had New York literally in the palm of his hands, and then for you to just fall off like that, come
That
on.
happens to a lot of New
Actually,
York rappers.
now that I think about it, this is actually go back to my question. I know we kind of answered
Yeah,
it, was getting away from it, but going back to it, I just thought about it. Next Friday, DMX's album is coming out. Do you think that does anything to J. Cole?
No.
Nah, that's not gonna do anything to J. Cole, especially given that DMX like fan base. I'm not saying that the fan base has anything to do with it, but like DMX fan base and J. Cole fan base, like the DMX fan base, I don't want to say it's for like older audience because I know we could still listen to it, but it's like different because J. Cole is like towards us and younger adults. DMX, I feel like the only kids younger than us that's really listening to DMX will be because he passed away, and that's why they want to hear, you know,
Like
whatever.
the people that's a little bit younger than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's gonna, you know,
Do anything.
do anything to Cole.
It's not.
All right. Nah, so that us just kind of get an idea.
What are
but-
you expecting out of that album, though?
The only thing I want to say about the album, because I don't want to talk about it till it comes out, I'm glad that he was able to finish it himself before he passed.
Oh, he finished it himself. It
Yeah,
wasn't
he was
like
talking
that
about it
big-
for a while. Yeah, when he was on Drink Champs, he was talking about it. So it was done already. The only thing I wanted to say is on Drink Champs, he was talking a lot about his song that he has with Pop Smoke. And if you look at the album track list, the song's not on there. So for me, that's the only thing that I don't know about. Like, I'm kind of upset about it as a fan because he sounded so excited about it. There's another song that he was excited about
He
it.
probably didn't get
That was
clearance or
on
some
there.
shit.
I feel like he should have. Like, I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
given
don't
that he
see-
was already talking about it.
Not even that. Like, even if that, I think that who in Pop Smoke's camp would not say yes to that? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, DMX is like, it's DMX.
That's the funny thing about it.
Because their sounds were so similar as is, like the way that their voices were and stuff like that, that it would have been crazy for them to,
Be on the same track.
yeah. So I don't know. I just think that's my only takeaway from that. Joe Budden. First the fat,
Yo,
First the Fat
we were
Boys
just,
break
like,
up.
nose deep into music as Joe Budden.
first the Fat Boys breakup.
I mean, I'm pretty
Now
sure
every day I
you're
wake
the-
up,
you're the
somebody got a problem with Hove.
one- Wait, what happened?
That's the part. That's the song. That's the way the song goes. So you said I'm the Joe Budden expert.
No, yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure you know the most and exactly what happened.
All right, so
But,
I'll give the run,
Cut me off.
I'll give the rundown of it quick.
So wait, I wasn't done.
I'll give you the Spark Notes version. So the Spark Notes version is that they started the podcast together. Well, Joe started it, and then he brought Rory on, and they grew together. Then they brought Maul on, and they were doing this shit for free. They weren't seeing no money. Basically, the same way that we're doing this right now is how the three of them were doing it. And they were recording at a studio, and then from a studio, they started recording at Park's house. Then one day, Joe took a fucking whatever he took, and I forgot what the pill's called, and
a perk.
not a perk, the other one that makes you
Xanax?
makes you mad serious.
Adderall.
Yeah, he took an Adderall.
Oh, he took Addies.
And he took an Addy, and then they reviewed Views, which I think was it Views. It was one of those Drake albums when he was talking about Joe Budden on it, and he reviewed it, and he was tight and went over it, right? So regardless of that's here nor there, and then the podcast blew up. They started getting deals, they started getting money, and then even if you're friends, sometimes if you're not as close as friends as you think, money starts to break people up. So, and money, because money becomes power and respect, people start to lose it or gain it or whichever way that it goes.
Yeah, money is just a whole nother
So
thing.
pretty much they started to make more money, and the way that the contract is explained, because I'm not a lawyer and I'm not there, I don't know what the contract actually says, but from what they have explained, even listen to what Joe said, the contract that Maul and Rory have is almost like partners. Kind of. They're kind of like partners, and they get a percentage of the net income of the podcast. And the net income is different from the gross, because the net income is based off of the money that the podcast gets after you take out expenses. So, so if your gross could be 100,000 and your net income is going to be like 70 because you got to take out all your expenses, they get a percent of that 70. That's basically what their contract was. And they saw that they were making a lot of money, and they wanted to see what the changes were and what the numbers were, if there were any differences. And the whatever contract that Joe signed, which was a little bit different than theirs, basically said that they don't have to provide anything if they don't want to, if he doesn't want to. And if he does, that he can get in trouble or whatever, like he can get sued or some bullshit like that. That he's the only person, him and his lawyer, his manager, is the only people that can read it, which is fishy in itself, but whatever. And they were getting tight because they wouldn't share it and stuff like that. And then the way that their relationship started to go, it started to just go downhill, basically, because Joe basically started to get a big head. He was getting to different rooms that he wasn't even getting into before, and they weren't able to communicate the way that they used to. So it led to a fallout. One day that they just didn't show up, Joe spazzed. They talked it out, came back. And then they just weren't comfortable with what was going on. They left again. Joe spazzed again, fired them on air, and was disrespecting him. At least I took it as disrespect. And then, yeah, at this point, Maul and Rory are no longer part of the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, they are.
Not officially.
Advertising.
They had a video just like clarifying.
Yeah, just going over
like
it.
their own podcast too, but it was
Yeah.
clarified.
So at this point, they said that they're not coming back. Joe sounds like he is down for them to come back, although he fired them on air and was very serious about it. He sounds like he is willing to have them come back, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be anytime soon. If it does happen, but it's probably not.
Once those numbers started going down, he's definitely gonna tell them, "Yo, come back, please, come back home." Please. Now, I feel like it's all about ego, and one of those small clips that I saw from Maul and Rory, Maul really he really explained it like about Joe's ego. It got he explained it in 15 seconds. He was talking about how they were at some place, far, some place popping, some city was popping, and they were at like some event, and Joe was outside. He saw that the line turned around. Yeah. The line turned around, and then when he came back, he was like, "Yo, I got the line turned around." And then Maul and Rory Maul looked at Joe and he was like, "Nah, Joe, we have the line turned around, not just you." And he made it very particular. He was like, "Yo, like I've been here before. I've been here when you were here, and you never did these numbers. Now that we're here as a collective, that's when you got these numbers, and you're trying to make it seem like it's only because of you. Like, nah, fuck out of here." And I feel like that's all
telling.
Yeah, that's telling. That's one. And two, that was just Joe's ego. Joe's head was like, I don't know, it just got way too big, because you got to remember, if you're doing something right, the money's gonna come in, and all these other things, deals, sponsorships, and all that. So why would you go on air? And I understand, they're your friends, or you want to label them your coworker. I don't know what you want to label them as, but these are people that you came up with. So I don't understand why he felt the need to completely disrespect them in that sort of way, because that's like they could ask about money. They could. I feel like they weren't in the wrong. They weren't rude about it neither. They just wanted to know what was going on. or we see that there's a huge revenue going.
Bro, like,
like I'm not blind.
the fuck?
I would ask about it. Like,
Something that Maul had said. He was like, "Yo, this nigga was wearing an Amiri hat." Fuck, you know, wears a Amiri hat.
yeah, I heard that shit. He was mad at you from there. It was downhill.
I know people that wear Amiri jeans and shit like that, but who the fuck is wearing an Amiri hat? You know how much that hat probably costs? Who are you, my nigga?
Yeah, I didn't even recognize this man no more. Like he said some shit like that.
I never seen no shit like that. But like, I see it from both sides. As being somebody that has created something and asking people to join on, you know, I can see the thought process where Joe feels like he is a boss, you know, even if he is not really the boss and we're partners. I can see that you taking that lead, you know, because even like with us doing this podcast now, somebody can very well come to one of y'all and be like, I want to be on an episode, and I'd be fine with it if it makes sense. You know what I mean? But people won't. They'll mention it to one of y'all, but then they'll come to me. You know what I mean? So that's where that idea of becoming the boss comes from, because it's like you have that power. You know what I mean? So I get where Joe is coming from that standpoint, and if your contract says whatever your contract says, I get that. So I'm not really mad about him feeling that he needed to tell them that, yo, you're not part of this anymore. I'm not mad at that. I think the part about it was, did you see the video when he did the firing?
I saw like a little bit of it.
I saw like a blurb, but
bro,
I didn't see like
he
was going on. He was off the shit though.
He
was
had
like,
to be like he was sitting in a room. Well, he wasn't in the room by himself, but he was like the setup was him by himself,
and then he kept pointing to like where these other two would be.
Where
Like,
they would be
yo,
sitting.
Mom.
Like, first
No,
off,
bro.
that's wild in itself.
Bro, he was definitely on some shit that day.
And then he was saying stuff about these people's lives that people like unless you're invested, you didn't really know about their lives.
No,
like that,
they wouldn't even talk about especially Mo. He was always like more
Mad,
mad,
chill,
yeah.
low-key.
He'll comment on the situation and that's it.
That's
He'll
it.
keep his private life private.
But like Rory,
Exactly.
we assume that if you're a listener and a watcher, like you assume that something happened with his relationship, that he probably broke up with his girl or whatever, right? But we don't know. Like, I didn't know what happened. Like, that's his business. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But Joe,
damn, he broadcasted that out.
Joe started to talk about how how Rory and Academics had beef because Academics was talking about the situation and was talking about Rory, and it put out, and Joe said it out his mouth, that Academics was talking about how Rory cheated on his girl and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, facts.
Like, why are you talking about that right now?
Yeah, like, why is that relevant?
What does that have to do with y'all niggas breaking up right now? Like, what does that have to do with anything? You know?
Yeah.
And, like, so I heard that, and then he never said that Maul was homeless, but he was like, hey, like, when Maul came on the podcast, I didn't even know where Maul was living. I didn't know if Maul was in New York or if he was... even in New York at the time. And if you hear that, you're like, does that mean this nigga Maul didn't have nowhere to live?
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when he was saying stuff like that, I'm like, and then his aggression and his tone when he's talking, it's like, if these people were your friends once upon a time, you're not going to do that to them on a public platform. You can explain that we're not seeing eye to eye and that it's about money, or I think it's about money, or whatever, and leave it at that. Mm-hmm. But once you start talking about personal lives and all this other shit and trying to make yourself feel better and make them feel belittled on a public platform, because I'm not even talking about if they were talking to somebody else, but on a public platform, that's
given he already knows the numbers that they do. So it's like, yo, I know if I say this, at least 2 million, 3 million people are gonna know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. So
yeah, that's just fucked up.
I just thought that was foul. Like,
if we
ever, let's say hypothetically speaking, we blow up, right, and then we go through a money issue, hypothetically speaking, I would never do that to you guys on a that would never go through my mind to be like, I'm gonna violate these niggas on it.
I'm gonna violate these niggas. Yo, Freddie, fuck this nigga.
Yo, this nigga is asking for too much shit, bro.
Yo, deadass, bro. Nah, I feel you. Nah, but that's also, it also goes back on character, feel me? That's your character. You're not the type to do that, you know?
Yeah.
That goes back to you. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't really know
Joe,
too much about Joe Budden.
Nah,
but
I'm sorry. Joe
It's a lot
Budden's
of
a
ego.
hothead, bro.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I was about to.
He's a hothead,
That's the only thing I really know about him, that he's hot. Whoa, pause. A hothead.
Hey yo, he's
That's how you
hot.
feel?
You heard that? He said he hot.
That's how
I
he
meant
feel.
hothead.
Nah, this nigga said he hot.
Man, she just woke up. She don't know what you talking about.
But nah, if you listen to like other people talk about stories and stuff like that, it's something with him. It's either a power thing or an ego thing, because he like there was a girl on the show before Maul was on there. There was a girl on the show, and she did.
They had Rosa as a feature one recently. Well, not.
No,
Yeah,
we're
she was
not
on
talking
it.
about
But
features.
we're
She
not
was
talking
on
about
the
features.
show.
She was on the
Oh,
show.
she was on the show.
It was instead of Maul, it was her.
Oh,
It
word.
was her, Joe, and Rory.
Oh, word.
Her name is Melissa, I think, and she was on there, and she used to work at Hot 97, and there was a little bit of beef between Hot 97 and
the Budden Cup?
105 or whatever, and
Breakfast Club, Hot 97.
yeah, there was beef between them, and something happened, and somebody from Hot 97, I think it was Rosenberg, said something on the air about Joe Budden. I think it was defense. I don't think it was against him. She explains the story. Go watch No Jumper podcast with her on there. But basically,
So she ended up making her podcast.
I think she made one now. No Jumper. I don't know much about No Jumper, but I just know that she talked about it. I just saw a clip.
Oh, okay.
And she was talking about it, and she was like that there was some sort of beef, and somebody from Hot 97 said something that wasn't even bad about Joe, and Joe took it the wrong way, and he fired me. He basically texted me and was like, "Don't show up no more." And it was
Yo,
like, yo, like I
just
didn't even
like
do
that?
anything. That had
Yeah.
whatever happened had nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I barely heard it, and when I did hear it, was nothing bad. Like I don't understand, but it was like Joe was like, "Nah, fuck you," and it's like,
I mean, some people just starting cut off to be like, to be put in that position,
so
Some people get power and they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, there's a power struggle. They don't know what's the proper way to access to read the situation and then to access it to be like, all right, look,
Do it.
I feel like this is the issue, and we could bounce back from this by doing X, Y, and Z. I
Yeah.
feel like he probably doesn't have the, I don't want to say the knowledge or whatever, but he probably doesn't have that right mindset to really be a leader, leading because I'm not trying to say that Joe Budden podcast isn't good. It's good, but he probably just didn't have that, that training. I don't want to use the word training, but you know what I mean. He probably didn't have that level of, learning to handle that type of stuff.
yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's tough that he did that. I mean, he had the very next episode after he spazzed and Maul and Rory did his. They did another episode with him, his friends, and he had his psychiatrist come and they talked it over, and he was basically saying what you're saying. Like he didn't have the experience and go and learn how to be the leader that he's trying to be, and doesn't know how to handle those situations. Basically, exactly what you said. And
No, yeah, because sometimes we come into these crossroads, and unfortunately for him, that played out more publicly. But we
that's
all
what
have
a lot of people were saying. They
Exactly.
were like that. There's a lot of people that are bosses and stuff like that have these situations, But the difference between them is that a company growing normally doesn't grow in the public eye. They're growing in the public eye. So these are situations that happen between people all the time where we're just not privy to it because they don't do a show twice a week. So, it is what it is. It makes sense. I just think that being that, that you don't do it on a public platform, that it shouldn't have been done that way. But it is what it is. It is what it is. They'll be all right. They got a lot more money than we do. Regardless if they're not on the
They
podcast
got more
or not.
publicity. They got more fans and all that.
Nah, as of right now, what they should really be doing too is they should be taking advantage of the situation. So that's why they had their little spinoff to
I don't know if
address
they're
the
gonna do
situation.
that, but people are asking for it, so it would be
Yo,
nice
but
for
that's
them
what
to
I'm
do
saying. If think about it, if you already have the fans asking for it,
Might
it'll
as well
be
just-
stupid
you'd be
to not do.
to say, nah, I'm not gonna fuck that shit. I ain't
Yo,
gonna do
bro, and they're already throwing them like different types of ideas in terms of like branding. And you know, when it comes to branding, if you starting off something, branding is key. Like, and I saw some of the branding that they had. It was like Rory and Mo, and like they had like they're like shadows
The
in the
beards.
back. Yeah, exactly. The the headsets on and everything. And if it's something that I could easily walk into, then fuck it by all means. Like might as well do it.
I think that they can get some money. It might not be the same money that they was making with Joe.
I feel like this is when I would listen to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but when I listen to the Joe Budden podcast, I would always like to hear what Rory and Mal thought. I'm not trying to say, I only listen to Joe Budden podcast for Rory and Mal. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that Joe would say some crazy wild shit, and then Rory and Mal would definitely, they would either check him or they would then say it on a non disrespectful way, like, I get what you're saying, and they would say it more, proper, So I feel like the issue. Well, I feel like they should take advantage of that situation, be advantageous with the opportunity they're giving, and two, I feel like you're really gonna see the difference in the Joe Budden podcast. You're gonna really see that because I didn't see the episode with his friends. How did you feel like that episode?
No, they've done a couple episodes. It's not just one.
Oh, so they have
they've done a few because they were not on that podcast for like 3 or 4 weeks. Like they missed a whole month or something like that.
Oh shit! I thought it was only like 2 weeks.
They missed a few episodes, and his friends were on there. And I don't think it takes away anything from Joe's podcast. That's why I'm just saying that the situation of how it was handled was bad because it probably would have happened regardless. But the way that the situation was handled was bad. But the podcast itself, I kind of like it because the difference between with his friends now compared to Maul and Rory is that Maul and Rory have connections to the industry. Yeah. So Rory used to work for a record label. Maul, his big brother is Biggs. And if you don't know who Biggs is tight partners with Jay-Z and stuff like that. So they have connections to the industry. They know these niggas that they're talking about. His friends now, they don't know any of these people that they're talking about. Yeah. They might have been being that they're friends with Joe and they've known Joe for a long time. They might have been in the room with some of them a couple of times and stuff like that because Joe is still, he had one of the biggest songs ever. So they might have seen them, but they don't have no connection to them. So now they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, they don't have to feel.
They don't have to sugarcoat something. If something was trash, nigga, that shit was dirt. They don't have to say it was all right, but I think that they should do this better. They don't do that. No, that shit was garbage. Yeah, and
DJ Khaled.
And they know a little bit more about Joe, so they're picking up
how to
that
maneuver.
slack. Yeah, it's not.
But you see, this is good because think about it. If Joe is able to, I don't want to say bounce back because it wasn't really like a full, but like if Joe is able to really provide for his podcast with these two, with his friends, then I would love to see the little rivalry going on with Rory and Mo and how they would do competition wise in terms of
I don't think the numbers are going to do because Joe already has the solid fan base. I don't think the competition would be there. But
I feel like
there's no competition.
I feel like they'll get there, and if they don't get there, that they know that they'll fail. Right
in the beginning, there's a competition. If they take advantage, like Freddie said, of this moment, there'll be a competition
for a little bit, and then
for a little bit, and then they could push it. Like they could have we never know. They could have a great ass podcast,
or they have a good ass guest.
Exactly.
List,
bro, all you need is 2-3 guests or like a good run in general.
Yeah, they already got plugs to like yo, come on our show. People are there's people that Joe Budden probably didn't want on their show
that probably
people wanted to be on his show, and he was like, I don't like them. No. But now,
they can get mad people on there.
Who would want to work with a hothead? I don't want to be on this hothead.
Rory knows mad people. Like he can get he hangs out with a lot of those people.
Drake,
Jim Jones. I don't know about Drake, but Jim, you got a lot of people. There's a lot of people that they can, potentially get on. And Maul knows a decent amount of people, and we're not only talking about music artists. Like Maul, he hangs out with a lot of basketball players. Like Maul can get Julius Randle on there because they hang out and talk all the time.
Oh, word?
Yeah. So like
wait,
stuff.
This is random. How do you feel about Julius Randle being the Prince of New York?
Niggas Prince who's the king.
Huh?
They said king.
They said king? I thought they said he was the prince.
I mean, if we're talking about basketball solely, I mean, he's the best person on the team right now, so. I was going to say, who's better than him?
I thought about it. I had to think about it.
I mean, you throw
think about
Julius Randle. I thought about it. Like,
Derrick Rose is my man's, but he's 6 man. Julius is more
Nah, yeah, you
MVP
got- yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, I think this is his first he's gonna be in the All-Star selection teams. That's what
Yeah, he was in you mean like
the first team.
the first team,
Yeah, second team.
all
All
NBA
fans,
teams.
Yeah,
or
I
something
meant
like
all NBA teams. Yeah, I said All-Star.
But other than that, going back to like them to Rory and Mo, they got it. Like they can get it. They
If they
can have
decide
a
to
great
do
ass podcast. Yeah. So it's up to how they like take it.
Yeah, they
take
have the
this.
lemons. They just
'Cause
gotta know what to do with it.
I'm pretty sure a lot of
Gotta
people
make
feel like
lemonade.
you, Jamal. Like I feel like that was OD disrespectful. Like, yo, you gonna fire me on camera when I'm not there? One, you gonna talk shit about me on camera?
you get
Like,
fired
it's
on your
like,
day
come on,
off.
bro.
the firing.
I knew you for how long, bro? I worked with you for how long?
Nah,
you
facts.
Could
what
have did
were
it
you
in a more
on that-
professional way. You talking about all this business shit, and you couldn't even get rid of me in a professional manner, my nigga.
Yeah, like exactly.
That
like,
does
your
things.
lawyer-
Those are ripple effects, bro.
Whatever the lawyer or whatever could have fired me, and it would have been more professional. Like,
Facts.
Yeah.
like the person in charge of our contract could have fired us, and it would have been more professional.
Yeah.
But the way you do it, nah,
Joe
fuck
Budden
you.
basically said everything but suck my dick. That's all that was missing out of everything that he. If you go, bro, I'm telling you, go back and listen to it. If you listen to it, the only thing that was missing from
missing
what
is the
Joe
suck
Budden
my-
said was suck my dick. That was the only thing that was missing.
Damn,
that was
crazy.
that was the only like the last thing that he. If he would have just ended it like suck my, that was the only thing that was missing.
That would have been the exclamation point.
Nah, they would have fought.
It was like he typed his whole message in capital letters and then at the end put a period. But if he would have said "suck my dick," it would have been an exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Right there. I may have to listen to it because I didn't listen to it. I
You
only
gotta
saw
listen
like
to it on
you know,
YouTube because he put it on Patreon, so you're gonna have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's too
What?
much.
Oh,
He posted it
Honestly?
on Spotify, and then it was up for like an hour or two, and then he took it down, and somebody ripped it, and then it was
that
like
person
they put
was
it on
smart.
Spotify.
They were like, nah, yeah, let me.
You gotta see
definitely
because
look
they
at
might
it.
have taken it down by now.
Honestly speaking, I don't really listen to Joe Budden's podcast. I only listen to it like once when you send it to me, or like if I'm like in an area that they're listening to it, like in a surrounding that they're listening to that. But for me, I won't take my time out the day to go listen to his podcast. Cause one, I know how Joe is. Joe is a hot head ass nigga, man, man. Yeah, he's loving hip hop. Yeah, I know. He's a
He
hot
basically
ass
created
head. He's
a
a
hip hop
hothead.
low key.
I personally don't like a lot of hotheads in like life. So it's like,
Why give your energy to that?
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want. Like I'm not giving the time of my day. Sometimes it's like good. Like sometimes like it was great though. Like
I like it because of I feel like if you listen to it more, it's like the friend dynamic and the jokes and stuff. I don't really listen to it for the shit that they be talking about. They don't really talk about industry shit like that as much. I mean, they do once in a while, but I listen to it for like the jokes and just showing the friend dynamic. So I think I said that more than once.
Yeah, they do show that a lot when like
yeah.
When
But
they
when I
show
was
the
when I
posted
was
clips and the
actively
snippets
when
and
I
stuff
was
like that, so.
actively listening to the Joe Budden podcast, those little jokes would have me dying. Like I'll be at work and it'll be like something like, oh yo, look at this, like look how he's talking to whatever. That would make me laugh more than like the actual topic.
Stuff
so.
that I related to. Some of the stuff that I've brought up on this podcast where we're talking has come from that podcast based off of those things that I just said, like the friend dynamic, and try to make us show a little bit more of who we are. That's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I pull from them. So, yeah. Speaking of that, we can close it out because we've been going for a little bit over an hour. Mental health awareness. This is the last week of the month when this is being posted, but I just wanted to, even close it out by like checking in. Sometimes you do this in the beginning, but we laughed, we joked, but there's some time where you gotta become serious for a little bit. Don't want to spend too much time. If you have anything that you want to share or how you've been doing things different, you don't have to share like what's going on in your life unless you want to, but like what have you been doing to better your mental the past couple of weeks?
I mean, in terms of Mental Health Awareness Month, I just want to remind everybody that do what makes you happy. Don't really get into don't really fall for titles and things like that. If you're doing something and you like what you're doing, don't try to let other people that don't do what you're doing influence you on why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, I feel like I pretty much hit it on the head, because it's like if you're doing something and let's say you don't like what I'm doing, but you don't know what I'm doing, you know of the situation, you have your own perspective about it, but I have a different perspective. I feel like people should respect. I feel like people should respect others, although like, oh, why are you doing this when you could be doing something different? Just I understand that some people like ask those questions for like encouragement. Oh, I see my friend in a bad position. I want to try to help him out. Or like if it comes out like, out of kindness like that, then I guess you could definitely ask. But if it's like on a more intrusive way of saying it, then just save the conversation, because I feel like some people, they do what they have to do, and they don't have that luxury to go out and do what they want, what makes them happy. So I just feel like just remember you're not walking on everybody's shoes. You're only walking in your own path. So take your path and walk with it how you could.
Yeah. What about you, Danny? I know that you haven't. We talked in. You were talking about how coming back to Cali, how you're more.
Coming back to New York.
Yeah, coming back to New York from Cali, and you're more calm, and you feel like you're more. You said that you were like more.
More aware of my situation right now.
What were your steps of getting to that point? Because I know you were saying that there was a point where you weren't. That plays a part in like mental health. So like, how did you get to where you are now over the past couple month and a half or whatever?
Definitely quitting my overnight was one of them. It wasn't making me happy. Technically, it wasn't. It could have made me the money that I kind of wanted. Not in a way, like not like a lot of money, but money for like, to do shit I want to do. But I didn't take advantage of it because it was very like mentally straining, like to my own thoughts, having my own thoughts at night, like being tired and shit. Like, yo, that's like, it haunts you. Like, it doesn't haunt you, but it like, I forgot the words, but like, it really like puts a strain on you. Like, that was one. Going to Cali, doing the hikes, learning about something I want to learn about a little bit more, which is like astrology, and I already know about astrology. I'm a big believer in like personal traits and stuff like that of astrology, not of like every daily scope, like daily horoscope. No, it's like weekly, okay, monthly better. I like knowing what you are. Sometimes it like ties in with certain parts of it. I learned a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Learning like what I like to do out there. Like I like things that are like earthy and stuff like that. So like
just pretty much learning yourself
Yeah.
and just taking time to be able to have your own time to not doing anything that's mentally stressful.
exactly.
Just make sure that you separated all those things from you.
Exactly. And like learning like, okay, I'd like to have fun, but you don't really need a lot to have fun. You don't need to go out and like, I could go out for 2 drinks and still have fun. I could go.
You don't need to drink a stupid amount. Like I feel like that's we've in the past couple of years, we've kind of connected those two, especially like from like that 2015, 2016 time. I'm not sure if it was just us. But
They're not gonna know about it. Just us.
But we kind of connected that the more lit you are, the more fun you're having, which doesn't necessarily have to be true.
They don't intertwine with each other.
The other thing was like women for me. Like I'm not.
Hey, my man's got bodies out there.
No. You see, that was it. That's it right there. That I just learned like that. Like you pursuing that is, I think you said it in one of our conversations in the group chat before. Like you having control of your like like how you want to have sex or when you want to have sex, your sexuality, you having control of that says a lot about, like, says you means you can control the world, like, cause no lie, like, we're horny ass people, like
I feel like men and female are mad horny.
yeah, no, like
Yeah.
both right now
Yo,
at this.
this is a whole different topic that we
Like-
could talk about, especially we bring Gotti on the episode.
Oh yeah, no,
That would be
it was
funny.
just a quick like.
But people are. I'm gonna say this, and so it's on point, so I can remember, because I'm gonna listen to this back. That just the way that the world is right now, and how everything is sexualized. Everybody on the planet is mad horny for no reason.
Yeah, but the other girl,
Everything
I don't want to get
people
in.
do is like.
I don't want to get into it, but
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
wanna
wanted
get
to
to-
bring it
but
up. So
yeah,
it's
that-
I
okay.
think I know
So
what
it
the
was-
next episode is
for
gonna
me-
be.
For me, it was just like, okay, like I can be horny, but I gotta stop, because one question I started hating more about it. It was more like so you're gonna get bodies out there? Or blah, blah. I
Man,
honestly, like, I
wasn't
know
me,
it's joking
but-
around, but like
I was
at a
dead
certain point,
serious.
it like
You keep hearing it.
What does J. Cole say? A joke contains truth shit. Like there's some truth behind it where it's like, no, we want you to get that, but it's like,
I was being dead serious.
like, oh, you see? Look, you see? No, but I'm glad that like a friend like Jamal would say that, but like it was like, I don't want to be like, yo, like make that my focus, because that becomes my focus. Right now, I don't feel financially set, so I think financially set should be my focus.
Of course.
And then that will come with that financially set, whatever motive, because then my confidence starts kicking back in.
Yeah.
And that was part of the astrology thing that I learned about myself.
I think it's something more or less like one. It's almost like one thing at a time for
Exactly.
you. Some people can do balance both,
Multiple.
but for you, it's almost like you got to do one thing at a time.
Exactly.
And that's not bad,
And-
you know. That's just the perks of
Learning
knowing
yourself. That's
Yeah.
what that was. That's going back to saying that you learned who you were.
And that's there's certain thing I didn't achieve, like that I would say like 75% mentality was like good out there, or like actually like 87. The rest was more like when I came back and stuff, I felt down and stuff. And now I don't think it was the vacation mode per se. It was more like, because I was working out there. It was more I'm in a place that I don't want to be right now. And that's learning myself too. Is like, I'm in a place I don't want to be right now, but I know I have to sustain this until I get what I need to leave.
Word.
That's it.
I hear that.
So my mental is at an 87. No, it's at a 75. Especially after my birthday, 75.
70.
65.
Damn. 55.
Nah.
Do I hear 55?
Memphis is winning, so
You look better
65.
before you left the count.
Yeah, thank you.
More
What type
calm.
of comment? Wait, what you said?
You look better than yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like he looked better before he went to Cal. I'm like, what?
So
He was down before he went to Cali.
Yeah, we don't have to say this in camera. Nah, cause I was about to say like, yeah, his spirits look a lot better. Like, you know.
No, you're good.
You got him.
Nah, so you
he
probably
found, he figured himself out. I mean, obviously nobody has himself 100%,
Yeah.
but he's more
In tune.
than he was before, and that's fine. So,
No, you're good.
so, yeah.
But how about you, Jamal?
I think that my mental health is a little bit scattered. I'm not gonna lie. Just with, I mean, it's not really a secret anymore, so I can talk about it. So I was working the past couple months. I've been working on a shirt that's supposed to be coming out. I don't have an official release date for it yet. I wanted it to be the 29th, and if you're watching this podcast to this point, you're the only person that knows what the date was. But as what I wanted the date to be, and it's been a lot of stuff that's been behind the scenes that nobody really knows that I've been thinking about and dealing with. So for me, that plus, something that I started to do was realize that I drink a lot of beer and stuff like that over the past couple of years, and I don't work out as much as I used to. So it was something that I just sat back and was like, yo, my mom literally has a Peloton bike in the house. Why don't I use it? And go back to what I used to when I used to play baseball. Take it slow. I'm not trying to jump. I know everybody wants to give like workout advice when you tell them that you want to work out, but I want to take it slow and get back onto my own pace and get it into a rhythm. I used to work out 2 or 3 times a day when I was playing baseball. Now I don't work out at all. So let me get back to at least riding the bike twice a day. 2 20-minute classes, 2 30-minute classes when I first wake up, and then later either before or after dinner or something like that, and try not to drink anything like alcohol, like hard alcohol, and that's why we were drinking Trulies today. So do stuff like that and try to drink like green juices and stuff like, and more water. I was drinking a lot of water, but not as much hard alcohol, and eating mad cookies and stuff like that, because like my food routine was at lunch. I don't really eat breakfast as is. I'll just drink some water when I first wake up. But my lunch was, I would eat whatever I had for lunch, and then I would have 2 packs of Oreos and maybe a bag of chips. And then I would do that every day plus dinner, and then I might have another bag of chips or another thing of Oreos or ice cream after dinner, go to sleep, and then do this shit all over again. Then the weekend would come, go out to eat, and eat mad fatty foods and drink OD, and you know that shit catches up to you. So it's something that I've been trying to help with. So that's what I've been putting myself onto. So I think after this is my first week on the Peloton. The shirts are done. I'm just waiting for some stuff. But the Peloton, this is my first week, and I feel a little bit more aware, because I've been waking up more early instead of rolling out of bed. I'm waking up at 7 o'clock every day. So, you know, trying to get back to where I was when we were in school.
Yeah, it's always baby. Yeah.
Back in school, I was waking up at like 5, 6, and like I said, I would work out like 3 or 4 times a day. You know, I have this week of riding the Peloton was literally the first time that I've worked out at all since we left school. So, you know,
Yeah.
and that was 5 years ago that we left school. So
4 for me.
five for me. So
Nah, yeah. So
7
no.
throughout
I
the
mean,
day.
as long as you got that, I mean, you know what you want to do. So, like you said, you don't want to really hear feedback. So as long as you do what you feel like you're progressing on, and you feel like, you know, you're closing out a goal, you're shattering a goal, then by all means, you know, keep taking your time on it, and you know, do it as you please. Don't feel like, oh, you know, once you get in a rhythm, don't, you know, try to overwork yourself, or don't, you know, settle for less neither. You know, just keep staying on your road until, you know, you got the results that you want.
Yeah. Because it's like, I just want to get into a rhythm of doing things. Because I know, like, people say, oh, do this amount of push-ups or this amount of sit-ups and stuff like that. And it's like, I get that, but nobody ever starts any of their workouts or any of their stuff 100% when they've never done. You're not going to take some OD big obese person and make them do something that The Rock is going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm comparing it. Like, I know that maybe I might be able to physically do it, but part of working out is not only physical, it's mental as well. So I want to be able to get back to that first before I can get myself back into everything. So
The hardest part about being in shape
it's consistency.
is not even the consistency. I think you can be very consistent when working out. It's the food you eat.
That's also true. Because
Your
I'm
diet.
trying not to eat, and this I don't want to get too into my my routine, but what I'm trying to do, and I was telling Freddie this, I forgot what it's called. It's a word that starts with an I, but it's like it's fasting when you don't eat for certain times of the day. You only eat at certain points of the day. Like, you only eat like maybe dinner, or you only eat only lunch, whatever your meal of choice is the only meal that you eat, and then everything else is like liquids. That was my initial goal for this week, because I bought mad fruits to make juices throughout the week, but there was this leftover food that we have in the crib that I asked for. So
Instead of dogging that shit down.
so I was like, I gotta eat as much of this as possible, and I literally ate that for lunch every day this week. But next week it is back to trying to do just juices for lunch. Not gonna be actual foods, and then just eat dinner. Might not be. I'm not like a health guru or nothing like that. So yeah. All right. I think that we talked about everything that we had talked about.
I feel like, yeah, we had all the topics in place.
We haven't recorded a podcast this long, but I think that being that we haven't been recording lately, it was probably necessary.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes. Maybe I won't add the music to this one. Just leave it at the talking. We've been,
The end.
Yeah, do something different. We could do it without music this one time
yeah.
or the next time too.
I just gotta find a little thing so I
Like
can
a
play
little
music.
lo-fi beat, like the little.
Lo-fi? I can do that. I can add a little lo-fi beat to
Like
a little
the end,
something, a
I
little
like
something.
that. I like that.
A little something.
All right, but thank you guys for watching and tuning into another episode of the Just Talks podcast. We definitely appreciate you. What are you gonna say?
So, I have a new title in this podcast.
Yes, I have given Danny a job. He doesn't want to call it a job,
It's
but
a task.
his
Right.
task.
It's a new title. Let's call it that.
Because
man's got a
where you
promotion.
normally see us sitting. First off, thank you for watching to this point. But where you normally see us sitting is right with the orange background. This is my house in Jersey. Where we record the other episodes that you have seen is at Danny's house. So now that Danny doesn't want to be on camera, I got giving him a new task. And his new task and new job will be to find
Casting coordinator.
our guests. And not even like find them,
Guest
but like
services.
be in communication with them to put them on to this is the day that we're recording and this is the time. So we have to make sure that we're on time when we go to his house. We were a little slacking a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna record at 8 and then start recording at 11, 12.
Yo, that shit.
So when we start doing that for real, we have to make sure that we're on
Yeah,
point.
be
If
there
we
at
say, "Oh, I'll be there by 8," make sure that by 9 we're actually recording, so that we're done, because people aren't
fuck
going to
with
want to
that.
do that. So yeah,
So
getting-
with that being said, all I wanted to say before we close out for real is you can hit me up on my Instagram. You want to be on the show? I'll run it by the Hefe over here. And
Why gotta be Hefe?
the Hefe boss.
that's what Hefe is.
Well, you thought he was throwing a jab
you
at
want me to be the boss?
No,
Nah.
Hefe sounded offensive to me.
Nah.
Oh, these
Like
are
a
boss,
heifer,
bro.
like heifer.
Oh, I like heifer.
That's what it sounded like. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, he was
Alright,
calling
I
me
get
the boss.
I get that.
Like so.
Respect.
You can hit up the boss man over here, and you can hit up now officially co-host number 1. Like, yeah,
I mean, we're still co-host. You
but
still
yeah.
co-host too, like.
yeah, I'm in behind the scene co-host. Nah, but you can hit me up, and I'll run it by them, and like that we'll keep all in contact. Like, it'll be
Word.
easier.
So stop messaging me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, wait. So, quick question. So, I don't know if I should ask this now or for the next episode, but
You're
so
gonna ask it now.
what are your outlooks on guests? So, like, how should like, what type of guests are you looking for? Like, what environment do you want the
Actually,
guests to come into?
this might be good.
No, yeah, that's why I feel
It's
like this is a
actually
perfect chance to
perfect
actually
time
like throw this.
If y'all
in.
listening to this part, thank you again. But
Nah, I'm gonna post this part. Because that's a good question. As far as when it comes to guests, because people are always asking about guests, I personally have no problem talking about music because music is music. You saw that we talked about J. Cole for almost an hour, and then we talked about other artists. I am not particularly want to keep doing interviews and stuff like that, going into somebody's project and asking all those stereotypical questions about, so what made you make this project and what is your process for the next. And I know that I've done that for a few people, and it's obviously nothing against them. I fuck with all those people that I did that for or with or whatever, however you want to say it. But it comes off as cliche and it shows like interview skills, but for me, it's like it's too cliche, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to be able to come in and sit down and have like a conversation about finding out who that person is as a person, rather than
Finding them out by their
what they're doing
project.
for music and what their next plans are. Because you never get a solid answer. You always get a half-assed answer, or the answer is basically, yeah, I'm working on this. You know what I mean? You don't really find out who that person is by asking a question like that. Oh, you got to see when it's coming out. It's coming out soon. You know what I mean? Like everybody says
I
that.
hate that answer.
No matter who it is, you can be talking about
Come on,
fucking
son.
Drake. You can be talking about the next up and coming artist. Yeah, I got so much stuff coming. You just gotta wait and see. Like, I feel that, but like,
He's like,
you get what I'm saying? So
I feel
like,
that, but we want more.
so I'm not against talking to artists, and if you want to come on and like you intro the podcast with your song and go over a little bit, but the whole process of what we're going to be recording about will not be me asking you guys a million questions about whatever it is. And that's not only artists, that's like whatever product it is, unless it is fits. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but like,
I get what you're saying. I just wanted it to be clear for anybody that's hearing or the audience, you know. So like, because I don't want them to feel apprehensive, like, oh, because I know there's probably people out there that would like to come up to the podcast, you know, want to be a guest, but they don't know how to make that approach, or they don't feel confident as to what they have.
No, because like I got, and this is I know we're recording way longer than I wanted to, but this is like I got somebody that I want Danny to get into contact with, to talk about, because he wanted to come on. And he's a music artist. He not only makes music himself, he's a rapper / singer, and then he produces, and he does a lot of the mixing and producing for people in Yonkers, and he's really good. Like and he reached out to me and said that he wants to be on the show, and he wants to go on there. And I know that it's definitely going to be, like I said, promoting a little bit of music. So yes, play your music in the beginning or for the promos and stuff like that. Like I'm all for that. Like I want to use people's music that's on the come up just like us. I want to do that. But I don't want to sit there and ask a million questions about that's not going to be like full answers. I want to know about you. I don't want to ask you, so how'd you come up with this song? You know, I wanted to know, if you get what I'm saying, because I mean, like, you can explain how you came up with a song, but it's different than us talking about who you are as a person, if that makes sense. And I keep saying the same thing, but
no, we got it.
So,
don't worry about it.
So yeah, but yeah, that's all I got. That makes sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't think you like. I just want to put it out. You don't necessarily have to. It sounds like what Jamal's saying also is that you don't necessarily have to be an artist.
Yeah, you don't have to be an artist. You can be one of our friends.
Owner, yeah.
You could be a business owner. You can honestly be our friend. Like D was on the show.
Yeah,
Emily was on the show. They would, and other people that we didn't officially say their names were also on the show, but they weren't like
Larry from Tennessee, right? Sound like that?
I don't remember.
No, Larry from Larry.
They were on it as well, but like they aren't artists or anything like that. They're just people that cool with. So if you want to come on there,
opinion,
yeah,
we like to hear it.
The show is called Just Talks.
Literally, we just want to talk. That's it.
The show is called Just Talks.
Nah, but I'm glad you put that out there. I just wanted, I feel like. Because it's summertime, we want to do a little, we want to have fun too, we want to make sure that whatever we're doing.
It's supposed to be a hot summer.
It's supposed to be a hot summer in multiple ways. So,
and we all going to be vaxxed. So if y'all concerned about coming to the show and niggas is not vaxxed.
Facts, I got my vax.
We all going to be vaxxed. And sooner than later.
Vaxxed up shit.
I don't know when I'm doing it. I haven't decided because I'm still contemplating whether I want to really do it or not. But it will probably happen.
If you a random person that just listens to the show and really likes us, you reach out to me or
I ain't
Jamal
saying all that. That's I ain't saying all that.
We never.
I ain't
know.
just bringing up something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring you to my crib, but like I'll rent out a space. Nah, but yeah.
All right, that's we're all over the place. All right. Thank you guys for watching and tuning into another. I don't know why I always point at the camera. I always do that. Listen to another episode.
Let them know.
Yeah, I know it is. But yeah, thank you guys for watching and tuning into another episode of Just Talks Podcast. Gang's here. See you next time.
Have a nice one. Thank you for
till next time.
Yo, especially if you made it this far. I know it was said twice already, but thank you for listening. We always appreciate it.
Word.
Bye.